this story about her husband, what he had experienced that day. And I just had tears coming down my face. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to retell this story. And so I got off the phone with her, and I reached out to my friends, good friends, acting colleagues, Venus Monique and Sharon Lanier, and I told them the story. And they also were impacted the same way. Well, about a week later, I just felt this strong sense that I feel the Lord, I know the Lord put on me, is that this was to be made, this story was to be made into a film. And so of course, I had never made, not of course, but I have never made a film before this one. And so I started thinking of all the filmmakers that I do know. And as I continued to talk with Sharon and Venus, it was interesting because all the same time, the Lord had been putting on our hearts the idea of producing, to have a greater hand in filmmaking, you know, as all three of us have been working as actresses for many, many years. So we said, let's do this. And we committed to this project and said, okay, God, you put this on our heart. We trust that you will guide us. So I began prayerfully writing the script. And as I was writing it, I asked the Lord, what do you want the focus to be? Because when I first heard the story, it was very much so about being available for God's work, no matter where we are, just in the mundane of our life. And that we don't have to have it all together to be utilized by God. In fact, it is often those times that we are most broken and that we recognize our brokenness and that we say, okay, God, I surrender. Have your way in this situation. And God just swoops in and does things that we couldn't have done alone. But as I was writing the script, it became very clear to me that the focus was to be very heavily on shining the light on the darkness and dangers of witchcraft, as well, of course, the truth that Jesus is the only way.
He is.
So I prayerfully continued writing, and of course there are many themes throughout the film that stand out. I'd like to hear later what stood out to you, what impacted you. But I will say that this story is a testimony of when God says to do something, He will provide. In fact, He goes before us, and we can confidently take one step after the other, even if we don't know how it's going to happen, what we're going to do. He will provide, and He will literally put the ground underneath each step we take. He provided in so many ways. One of those ways is that 2 weeks before the film, we were introduced to an actual witch who, oh my gosh, I have to tell you later. Please enjoy the film and talk to me later because I'm going to tell you all about it.